Hello friends, welcome back once again. I'm Beatriz. If you want a Christmas card that it looks elegant, cute, and like it took you forever to make, you are in the right place. We're gonna be painting this little one. But guess what? This is a simple card to make a lot easier. It just has a lot of reds and greens, and then you end up with something that it feels like it took you hours to paint. And if you are into making your own Christmas cards, either to gift or to keep, these ones make a beautiful decoration if you frame them. I'm gonna show that to you as well. But without further ado, let's just get our brushes and let's start painting. Okay, so I'm painting in cold press paper and Arches cold press colors. We're gonna be using 4 colors and we're gonna make all our mixes out of them. Sap Green by Daniel Smith, Cobalt Blue by Daniel Smith, Pyrrol Red Light by Quart, and I'm also going to be using the Neutral Tint by Daniel Smith. Out of these 4 colors, we're going to mix everything that we need. Start doing our first mix, which we bring the Sap Green into the palette. And I'm going to get some of the Cobalt Blue. Let's see if I can get a little testing paper. I want these greens to be more in the muted size. So now let's get the Neutral Tint that I have over here, and let's see. Let's go with more water, maybe slightly more blue. Let's just put it a little bit more on the cool side. Oops, that might have been a little too blue. Let's see, let's find out. No, actually, that's kind of like about right. And if not, we can always mix more green as we go. Anyway, let's start with this mix to stop it from getting over busy. I'm going to keep my colors here a little bit muted, especially my greens, so they don't compete too much with the others. I started by putting my mix that I just did, and now I go with a little bit of water. And all these leaves, I want it to be kind of loose, and got one leaf right there. This is going to be the pom-pom of the hat. It will be kind of like another leaf is coming out of here. I know this is a candy cane. We're going to go around it carefully, and I go with my thin brush and take my time to do it slowly. Now this is also part of the same leaf of the greenery. So let me go now. Oh, this candy cane is really gonna pop. You will see. It's gonna look awesome. This is gonna be part of the scarf of our friend. So let's just go lightly, and let's just put a little bit darker here, just so the candy cane again pops a little bit more. This is sort of like a negative painting kind of color. And now I am going to go with water for this edge not to be so some of this color a little bit on the edge. That will be good. And that's it for another leaf. You see how fast we're going? All right, let's just keep this one to leave a little bit of time for that one to dry. And let's go same. I'm just gonna go around all. I got 3 or 4 more leaves. All of them, oops, too much water, are gonna be done exactly the same way with exactly the same colors. So let me skip it up so I don't bother you. I mean, I don't bore you with doing the same thing again and again. All right, so now that we got the light leaves, and before we move on to the berries and stuff, I think that we're gonna go ahead and start painting our snowman. I'm making a lot of smush. I'm getting it over my fingers, so I'm gonna use just a little white paper to protect my hand so I can stop smushing all those pencil lines. Okay, so I have a mix of my Pyrrol Red, and then I'm making myself another one, Pyrrol Red, the same red, and I'm adding neutral tint to make a dark. And the pom-pom of the hat is going to be white, so I'm going to paint around that. And let's see, this goes this way. I'm trying to find my lines. Okay, this is part of the hat, and this is the hat. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wait a little bit because I don't want it too strong. All right, and then we will come up with some shadows and etc. to make this turn around, to make it look like it's not flat. So it goes like that. I want this part of the, let's put this part of the hat a little bit lighter. This is going to be a friendly snowman. I love snowmans for Christmas motifs. I think that they are fun and friendly. I don't know, it makes me happy to see them. I think they are happy fellows. Okay, the bottom is going to be a little bit darker, so I can go ahead and put all red. And now, again, we're going to come back here with the same color, but adding neutral tint because we're going to have to put shadows. But by doing this underpainting of red, we're going to keep our reds bright first, and then we will go, I mean, some of the shadow will go here, so we can go ahead and start putting a little bit of that red. And another one will go over here, so I can do the same. And see how it's already kind of turning a little bit? That's what we want. We can also put a couple of these lines here and there that makes give directions to the hat of this friendly snowman. Okay, now one thing that I would like to do right now is I'm gonna go with only water, and I'm gonna be lifting a little bit in a couple places. So we're gonna, maybe this hat has a little bit of snow on it. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do exactly the same thing for the scarf and for the gloves. We got a big highlight here that I'm gonna paint around. Okay, so now let's move on to start doing our candy canes. I'm gonna continue to protect this area so I have a good place to rest my hand. And again, I'm gonna continue with the Pyrrol Red. This time, we're gonna go a little bit stronger. And I'm gonna have a number 0, very, very thin brushes because we're working in the small areas, and a number 1. That's what I'm working with my Scotta Perla brushes. Now, I just love to do these projects. They are so beginner friendly, but then when they're finished, it looks like they were so difficult to do. Look how hard it is to make a candy cane. Pick one of the edges, for example, here at the end. This is going to be white, so that means that this is going to be red. Because if not, it's hard to know which each lane is. So let me load my brush a little bit more. It is, I didn't have enough paint. So if I leave that one white, I'm going to start doing this one red. So I just paint between these two lanes with my red paint. Voila. White, red. And just follow the same pattern. White, red. And you see how the pattern of our candy cane is already happening. Now, what I like to do is, but you don't have to, I like to go with a little bit of lighter in some areas so everything doesn't look even. I mean, not even. We want it to look even. We want a little bit of variation. So let me go back a little bit on the edge with a little bit more paint, a little bit on the edge, a little bit on the edge. And this one here is going to be on the edge. We're going to darken the mitten some. And here, for example, I just want to go with only water and bring it a little bit later, just because we are going in an area that has a lot of red. But once again, if you want to put it all red, go for it. That's not going to make that huge of a difference. All right, once again, I start with the red right here. And now, oops, let's wait a little so that my paint can leave my brush. So now look, now we're going to start having some of the reds against the greens, and this is really going to make it look nice, popping up. So I'm going with only water, trying to bring the color. When you work with the small brushes like this, they don't carry a whole lot of water, so you have to, because they're small, so you have to keep reloading. Okay, color, and blending again. Color, white, color, white, color. And once again, I go with this. Let me get a little, the thinner brush, and I just make sure that my edges are covered. Go a little bit churning, because this is the part on the candy cane where it's churning, so we bring it down a little bit. I'm gonna start going like this, and let's go with water. Okay. Again, now it's switching to this other direction. So once again, going like this, and go in. And I got a highlighter there, so I'm gonna leave myself a tiny little highlight here too. Smaller. Okay, we got 2 more to go, people. 1, oh, almost like 1, but this goes like that. And once again, if the light is hitting here, we're gonna allow for a tiny little highlight to show up here too. And now, because it's turning, this is white, but we will have a tiny little bit right here. There you go. And just like that, this candy cane is done. You see how difficult it was? Not really. All right, I'm gonna do the other one exactly the same way. Now let's just start making the shadows for the hat, so we can finish it up. I'm bringing my Pyrrol Red thicker, like less diluted with water, so less water. And now I'm gonna start picking up some of this Neutral Tint, and we're gonna make us, you see how it changed the color? It's in the red family, and I can bring more red, or if I need it, I can bring more Neutral Tint. So we're gonna be playing with this type of variation. We're gonna start darken, putting a little dark here. It is dark, so it almost reads like if it is green, like if it's black. I'm going now with only red, and then I'm gonna bring the dark over here. And if it's not moving, which is not moving too much, it's okay. I mean, I could also go with water, but I think that, yeah, let me go a little, pick that a little bit more while my red is wet. And I'm trying to go around so that I can start giving some, and now I'm just gonna go with water. I wanna give some roundness to this hat, okay? So that's the darker part. Let's go with red only. And I'm allowing some of the underpainting to show. Okay, so this will go like this, so it means that it's gonna keep coming like that. I can go ahead, since I have the color on my palette, and bring it down. Got another one like this coming here, and we are also gonna bring it down. So it goes like this. Okay, this one has a lot of moist. So let's just hope that this other one that I'm gonna go now with a little bit darker stays in place, but it needs to have more red, otherwise it reads too much light black. And this one's gonna come this way. I'm already darkening it. Go like that. As you can see, between this and this is darker. All right. Let's go with a more neutral tint mix on it. Here on the edge, here on the edge. And now we start making this line right here. Go with water. And we need some of the dark to the corner right here to make this turn. And now I'm gonna put, since this is wet, I'm gonna bring some of that dark onto here. Good. Now, once again, with just red, blum, blum, blum. Right there. Okay, one last time, we're gonna do the bottom row. Roundness. We concentrated most of our darks at this bottom here by the head, and we got that all going on the top. Now we had to blend. We want some variation, but we don't want a big sharp contrast, which is what we're having right now. Maybe too much of a contrast. So I'm going back. Oops, a little too much water. I'm going back to water with water, and I just blend in a little bit more. Okay, and yes, you guessed it, at the very bottom, at the end, one more time, we go with the darker color right here, and instead of going all the way, we're making it like, remember where it will turn. Now we go with the thicker red. Oops, it's so thick it's not leaving my brush. Let's try one more time. Let's go with the thicker red right here. Okay, and now I'm gonna I brought some of the dark up. Let's just bring some of the dark down a little bit. Now these are little things that you do if you want to have a little bit more realistic snowman, but you don't have to. Again, the amount of detail that you put is up to you. This is looking like a very pretty Christmas card. And again, like I said, that's going to be one of those that it looks like it was so difficult to make, but really, if you can tell, it's not. Okay, I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the scarf, and so I'm going to speed up the process. Okay, and now with the same colors, I'm gonna show you how we finish the scarf and the gloves or the mittens. So I start with the red, thicker red, and especially here in the curve, this is kind of like with the scarf will turn, are turning. Look how many variations of reds I'm having, but they are all bright, no matte, reds, and that is because I'm continuing to have the red plus the neutral tint. I'm not adding any black or any weird colors. A neutral tint, it gives me these darks, but without changing the color, and also allowing the luminosity of the red to show through. And although this is the same red than this, by making it with the neutral tint, look how much I have changed it. Okay, so now this is like kind of like the scarf is coming around here. I'm going with all the same color. Now the dark is separating the glove, but some of those darks will be in some of these places. Maybe it's a little too wet, so let's, all right, this is also dark, but I want to go with that color and right away with red color right next to it. Let's get a little bit more of the red. And now I'm gonna bring it down. So it's dark, but in the red tones. And we continue to bring it here. Here it goes. Nice. We do have a highlight out there. And we're gonna keep this lighter too. So now all I had to do is like go with a little bit of water, very little. So go from the opposite, because we want to keep that light, to here, and then we do some blending like that. Nice. Okay, so one part done. Then we bring some of that right here. So it's gonna go like this, kind of like round, and between this roundness and the highlight that we have right there, we have already accomplished the giving roundness to the hand. Obviously that cannot stay like that, so now I go with water here with nothing, and then I pick some of the color and I bring it around. And just like that. Now we got a round hand. Be honest with you, I think that this may be slightly too much, so let's just make it a little bit shorter. There you go. And now I'm gonna finish this one exactly the same way, and then we're gonna finish a little snowman. We are done with the reds of the snowman. We're gonna make us a gray with mixing French ultramarine and burnt sienna. And then we're gonna start putting some of the shadows, and we're gonna finish this our friend. And yeah, I want the shadows to be a little bit more on the blue side, so let's just bring a little extra blue. And let's get started. With this mix, we're gonna go ahead and start putting the shadows on the body of our snowman. Snow is white, so it will reflect a lot of the shadows of the shapes or the colors and the body of the snowman. So I'm going with water. I don't want to have hard edges. Let's get some of that over here. A little bit darker over here in this corner, which is the scarf. And this is also a cast shadow of the scarf. And this one can be a little harsh. By that I mean I can have that line. Actually, I want that line. Here, I want this a little bit softer. So, soft, soft, soft. Going in a circle. Going in a circle. Let's go. And we're going to come over here like this, like if it is in a semicircle. Then we will let this dry, and then we will start going a little bit in the top. So, all right, and this body is basically done. We go like this. We go with water here. Once again, be careful with this hand. And this is the body. So I'm just gonna go around. There it goes. And water. Okay. Now, once again, let's just go here and finish this as the body, but it's also finished the end of the candy cane. Okay, and now we're gonna do the same thing on the face. And pretty soon we're going to be able to just go ahead and put the dark or the eyes and the rest of the buttons, and this our friend will be done. So it goes like this, and then we're going to round the face a little bit. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty dark. We still have to put darker areas here of the eyes, plus this is going to dry later. So don't be scared if it looks a little dark while you are, when you first put the shadows, okay? And let's just put a little bit here too. So it's not only this side, but this side that is round as well. All right, I'm gonna let this dry. To add some more burnt sienna and to make the buttons. And right now I just go in to the gray. I added more burnt sienna. So one side, try to make it a little more round. One side of these buttons, which is gonna be this one, is gonna be lighter. And once this dries enough, we'll come and put a couple shadows and it will be done. Now for this, now I'm gonna bring I don't know if you can see the mix. I'm gonna bring here some of my neutral tint, and then we're gonna go ahead and put the eyes. All we had to do is like make a little circle, but leave a tiny little thing of white. Okay, and then we have an eye. And now we do the same thing with the other eye. Oops. This one I lost the highlight, but I can wet and I can lift. If that happens to you, make it a little bit lighter. Let's just go like that with a little more water and lift. And then we try again. So there it is. And now our highlight is there. Well, since I have this color, let's make these little buttons, the mouth. And this is just top, 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 top. Okay. These are fun things. Now, for the reds that I was having before, very diluted, with very diluted water, just for fun. Let's just put a little bit here, like I got rosy cheeks. Like I said, very pale. And then I even come in with more water. And for the, maybe a little more than that. And for the nose, let's make, I mix a little bit of the red, the same red, the Pyrrol Red with the yellow. And then I bring in it here at the bottom. And let's go a little bit around. Let's just bleed some of this into it. So now to the mix, I added a little bit of my burnt sienna. All we want is to put now a little bit darker here, the bottom of the nose, a little bit around it. And then we will come back, maybe a little bit more burnt sienna here at this edge. A little bit darker, closer to the edge. Okay, water. And again, a little bit darker here. And again, water. And once again, just like in this edge, and water. And now that this should be more dry, I'm gonna go ahead and put the shadow on the nose. A little bit over here. Let's start going with the water. And drop it. All right. Now, this snowman is all done. And before we move to the berries, if I go with the, and I added to this brown a little bit of my neutral tint, I can go in this edge, and by putting a shadow, look at that, all of a sudden my buttons are popping out. And it's just same color with a little bit of neutral tint to darken it up. Bam. there they are.
Okay, so I have a mix of my Pyrrol Red, and then I'm making myself another one, Pyrrol Red, the same red, and I'm adding Neutral Tint to make a dark. And with these two colors, and let's just get us a little more of the red, we're gonna go ahead and start making the berries, the winter berries. They are very, very simple to make. So here we go. I'm gonna start from here to there because I'm a right-handed person. But if you are not, then plan accordingly. All you do is put your circle, go with water. Then in this case, we just go after that, down, maybe put another one here. Let's get a little bit of the dark for this other side. Let them blend by themselves. Keep going down. Here I do want to leave a white area, so I just leave kind of like a little circle white, and then I just go with the red. It's easy peasy, really simple. This is really, really beginning friendly. Let me put a little bit of water so that we can have a little bit more of a variation here. And now I'm going with the dark color, and let's just keep bringing some of that one here. And here we can go top, 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 top. And with the dark too, like some of those are behind. Let's move on to some of these ones at the top. Red alone. I left some circles where I want them. Let's get a little more water. Where I want to leave a white highlight. And now with the dark color, we go while it still is wet, and we drop it, so then it gives us the blending together. I can come and make it a little more round if you want to. If not, that's okay. They are not perfect in nature. All right, we bring some. Let's just get a little bit of that one too. And let's just put the dark since I have this. Now I go with the light. And that's how we make them. You see how simple they are? If you need to, you can go ahead and go back with a little bit, which I do want to, a little bit more dark in this side. I almost lost a little bit of the light here, so let's just tap it a little and drop the dark. Here, let's just go more with the red. I got two dark, so let's just put just one that is light. And I'm gonna continue to do it this way. We keep building these berries, and some of them I want to put two, or the other ones, because this is nice and loose, we just add some of one color while it still is wet. I have in the other brush now the other color. Let them blend by itself. And yeah, I'm trying to get round, but you don't have to be perfect. If it is round, it's round, and if it's not completely round, well, then it's okay too. I'm trying to do a mix of both colors, dark and light on the stems. And go like that. Charge my brush one more time. This is looking good. It's giving it a lot of, it's kind of giving it like a lot of movement, a lot of energy, and I love that. Okay, so let's just get that one red like this and dark around here. Let's have another one coming this way. Got a lot of paint, so they get a little bit thicker, but I don't mind. Again, they don't need to be perfect. Okay, and pretty much we got this down, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start moving to the ones at the bottom. this is what I'm trying to build here is kind of like a semi wreath. By that I mean one that is not completely closed. So we started here. Now let's go ahead and do it. Move on to the ones here at the bottom. Let's start here with a lighter one, lighter red. And this is like a bigger berry. Now let's get to the, well, a little bit darker here because our little snowman will maybe cast a little bit of a shadow here. Whoop, very nice, like it. Again, let's push the darker there with the light color here. And then we can push a little bit of that here too. I'm gonna skip this one, these two, till this one dries a little bit more. Let's see. Let's leave a little bit of a highlight right there. And we're gonna make it more, this one mostly red. These Christmas berries, well, we call them Christmas berries, but they're so bright and beautiful, and then they're actually simple to make, as you can see. I'm just trying to have a little variation here and there. I have the darker color here, so let's just go and put some of this. Now let's go with some of the lighter ones, and let's get a few coming onto this direction. Now I'm just making impressions, not trying to be as delivered as I've been with those other ones. Some twigs and branches coming out. Yeah, I'm going out with whatever color I have in my palette. I mean, in my brush, and then bam, I put a few over here. And that one is a little too sharp, so let's just go back with red. Red, dark. Christmas card is almost done. What I'm gonna do now is bring my neutral tint, and I'm kind of diluting it a little bit. This is just neutral tint by itself. And then I'm gonna wet some areas. I don't want to wet it all, and it'd be a kind of surprise, or whatever it goes wet, then this can be, they will be more diluted, and whatever is not wet, then it will be dry, and that's the surprise that we sort of want. It should be fun. Okay, let's start. So I'm dropping. See how whatever is wet is getting a little bit lighter. I'm trying to make here, probably this is slightly too dark, so let me go with water. There it is, better color. And this is how we are dropping and making the wreath. So trying to go a little bit round, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I was having a lot of water here, so that's good. Let's put like opens a little bit of there too. That's better. Okay. I don't want it to be completely closed, so I'm giving the impressions of something like maybe going up and down. Let's continue to go around wet, neutral tint. little bit round. Let's just do the shape of these, the negative painting around the shape of this leaf. Okay, let's keep going around. And then it doesn't have to be all big round, it can be like some open, some like this, branches. You know, wreaths don't get perfectly reshaped, especially they're made with branches. Now, I do want to get a little bit here, so I'm getting my neutral tint a little bit darker. I want to go a little bit darker here, coming from here. Look, that's almost like black, so let's go with the tip of my brush. I'm reshaping and the negative painting the body of our friend. And then let's just put a couple of these just leaves. I don't know. I want to wet it. Put some of that dark here and there. Let's put a couple here too. Wetting some of them. If I got them like here at the bottom. Now I have to be careful when I rest my fingers. They should be coming from here too. So let's go a little bit dark here and there, but now lighting this up. So if it is a circle, we'll go like this, and some of that will come around here too. So this is the pom-pom. So this is circle, it will come around here. Let's just bring it. And it's also, I'm gonna go slightly dark so that it makes this one pop. There it goes. But if it goes like that, then let's have a few that loose around here too. Okay, oop, I like that a lot. Like this, I like this. Let's put a light one here, since like these are a little too dark, all of them. So I'll wet first, and then I drop some of that. And sometimes it's also, I mean, this is a lot of fun to do, but sometimes it's also good to know when to stop. So let's just put a couple. And then I think that for the most part, this is going to be done. Now, let's bring some of these grays here. And it's okay, I'm going to bleed it. If I get a little bit of the red from these branches, that's okay. I'm totally kind of going to encourage it. I'm going to run out of our neutral tint, so let's just put some of them here. What? Let's just go around there. And let's just drop. Let's just drop some right here too. First straight, then starting to curve. Nice. Okay, and for the final touch, let's bring a couple of these somewhere around here. Say for example, I make a ball with water, another one here, go with gray. Just so that we incorporate this into here, so it doesn't seem like one thing that is there going by itself. Maybe we can put a couple here. They're too dark there, so let's bring some here. And I'll just do 1 or 2 here. And 1 or 2 here too. Now, what I would like to do is with the neutral tint alone, this is kind of like that, and all of a sudden I got a not quite in circle, so I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna anchor our little snowman so it doesn't feel like it's floating. Okay, and now I just follow the little bit of the leaf shape, but then I come back closer. And our easy, very easy beginner actually card, let's just put here a little bit of reds. That actually looks like it's a boutique made Christmas card is done.
All right, friends, our Christmas card is done. As you can see, with a few shapes and a few colors, and try to keep them clean, we can end up with something very beautiful, a very special, your very own Christmas card. And as promised, I'm gonna show you how it'll look if you frame it. This can also make a wonderful decoration. I would love to see if you painted how it turned out, so let me know in the comments. And if you like this type of projects, I'm gonna leave here a list where I have seasonal projects that if you wanna continue to be painting with me, you can get some inspiration from them. And as always, I thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.